The Paradox of Love and Sacrifice. Introduction: The Entangled Twins. By Johnny DiPolo. Love and sacrifice are often spoken of as if they are interchangeable. People claim, "If you love me, you will sacrifice for me." Yet this phrasing blurs two very different realities. Love is generative, binding, and harmonizing. Sacrifice is corrective, resetting, and enforcing. They can coexist, but they are not the same. To confuse them is to confuse nourishment with pruning. The universe itself offers us this lesson. It loves through balance, but it sacrifices relentlessly when balance is broken. Love as harmony. At its truest, love seeks equilibrium. It is the magnetic force between entities, partners, families, communities, that draws them into coherence. Love is not blind. It perceives difference but works to blend it into a shared resonance. In human terms, love is the bond that says, "You are different, but I choose to weave you into my pattern." In cosmic terms, love is gravity itself, pulling stars, planets, and life into systems that can sustain themselves. Without love's harmonizing pull, the universe would be only chaos and dust. Sacrifice as enforcement. Sacrifice emerges not from abundance but from rupture. It is the universal mechanic that says, "This part no longer values harmony, therefore it must be cut away for the whole to survive." We see this in nature. A forest fire consumes the diseased wood to allow new growth. A cell self-destructs when corrupted, protecting the organism. A species goes extinct when its behavior destabilizes the ecology. Sacrifice is not cruelty, it is the surgical enforcement of harmony. It is the altar where imbalance pays its due. The personal altar. In human relationships, this paradox cuts sharply. One can love a person deeply and yet recognize that their refusal to honor harmony places them on the altar. Love does not vanish, but it becomes powerless to restore what sacrifice must now enforce. Think of the partner who refuses reciprocity, the friend who drains but never replenishes, the leader who demands loyalty while sowing chaos. Each of these once had value in the system, but by denying the harmony others brought, they remove their own. They do not get pushed onto the altar, they climb upon it themselves. Cosmic reflection. The universe as arbiter. The universe demonstrates this paradox constantly. Stars burn with love, fusing matter into heavier elements, feeding the cosmos with light and energy. Yet stars also collapse, supernova, and annihilate, sacrificing themselves so that new worlds can form. The message is clear: love builds harmony, but sacrifice enforces it. To confuse the two is to mistake creation for correction. Modern misunderstanding. Our culture has distorted the paradox. Many now treat sacrifice as proof of love, demanding constant concession, compromise, and diminishment in relationships, communities, even politics. But when sacrifice becomes permanent currency, love is drained of its true power. Harmony is no longer sought, only appeasement. Likewise, many treat love as sufficient to excuse chaos, believing that feeling deeply is enough to excuse imbalance. But the universe is not sentimental. It does not allow imbalance to endure under the pretense of love. Conclusion: love, sacrifice, and the altar of renewal. The paradox is resolved when we recognize their roles. Love is the harmonizing force that seeks balance. Sacrifice is the corrective force that restores it. When an entity, person, nation, or star no longer values the harmony others bring, they forfeit their place in the system. They become the offering that keeps the greater whole intact. Thus, the universe teaches us. Love seeks harmony. Sacrifice enforces it. When love is rejected, the altar waits. Part 2. The Paradox of Love and Sacrifice in the Shadow of a Killing. Introduction. When love is absent, the altar looms. The assassination of Charlie Kirk was not merely an act of violence against one man. It was a rupture in the fabric of American discourse. In its wake, the responses revealed something deeper than politics, a lack of empathy so stark that it exposed entire factions as unwilling to value the harmony of coexistence. Here, the paradox of love and sacrifice speaks clearly. Love seeks harmony. Sacrifice enforces it. When love is denied, the altar waits. The universe's lesson in balance. The universe does not sentimentalize. It allows stars to burn in brilliance, but it also collapses them when their fuel is exhausted. It allows forests to grow, but it burns them clean when the balance is broken. So too in society, when harmony is honored, love binds us. When harmony is denied, sacrifice corrects. The altar is not punishment but inevitability. Love as empathy, the missing response. After Kirk's death, what should have been universal was empathy, grief for a human life lost, outrage at political violence itself. That would have been the harmonizing love, the recognition that whatever our divisions, the line of blood should not be crossed. Instead, much of his opposition mocked, minimized, or even celebrated. They confused political rivalry with justification. They placed themselves above empathy, as though their disdain excused the absence of humanity. But in refusing the harmony of shared grief, they forfeited value. They stepped toward the altar. Sacrifice as inevitable correction. When empathy is absent, when love is denied, the universe does not wait. The correction comes. Moderates distance themselves from the callous. Movements fracture. Respect is withdrawn. And in time, those who deny harmony are consumed by the very fire they stoked. Kirk's assassination will not erase his voice, it will magnify it. His death, instead of silencing, becomes sacrificial fuel that clarifies the stakes for those who still value harmony. Those who mocked have chosen their fate. They will be remembered not for their cause, but for their absence of compassion in the face of tragedy. The self-placed offering. This is the paradox in motion. Kirk's opposition did not need to be placed on the altar, they climbed upon it themselves. By stripping away empathy, they stripped away their worth. By laughing at sacrifice, they invited their own. The universe, like history, does not tolerate imbalance indefinitely. It corrects. It prunes. It sacrifices. Conclusion. The warning written in blood. The paradox of love and sacrifice is not poetic ornament, it is the rule of systems. Love builds harmony. Sacrifice restores it when harmony is denied. Charlie Kirk's killing was a tragedy. The lack of empathy from his opposition revealed something even darker, a willingness to abandon love altogether. That abandonment carries a cost. For when love is rejected, the altar waits, and those who mocked will find they have written their own names upon it.